The latest 2024 Korean thriller disaster film Project Silence has arrived with a bang. This film was produced with a massive budget, directed by Kim Tae-gon, and also marks one of the final works of the late actor Lee Sun-kyun. The story is filled with twists and turns, thrilling and suspenseful, and if you love thrillers, you definitely shouldn't miss it. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the movie. The protagonist, Jung-won, is an administrative security officer at the National Security Department. After losing his wife years ago, he is now raising his daughter, Kyung-min, all by himself. But due to his busy work schedule, the relationship between father and daughter seems to be rather strained. At this time, the nation is preparing for the new presidential election, and to support the Minister of Security in his campaign and to give his daughter a better education, Jung-won plans to send her abroad before his heavy workload begins. However, his daughter is reluctant, so on their way to the airport, they travel in complete silence. Jung-won can only listen to the fog warning on the car radio as he drives with his head down. At that moment, thick fog suddenly blankets the entire Incheon bridge, drastically reducing visibility, and everyone is driving carefully to avoid collisions. But suddenly, a luxury car speeds past them, driven by a live-streaming influencer. However, the man quickly pays a heavy price for his reckless behavior. When two cars ahead block the road, the influencer fails to react in time and spins his car 360 degrees while trying to avoid them. Although he finally comes to a stop, he forces a tour bus behind him to stop abruptly. As expected, in such extremely low visibility, a car accident happened in an instant. Under the heavy fog, dozens of vehicles crash into each other, creating a catastrophic scene. But the tragedy is far from over. A driver who just got out of his car is horrified to see a fuel tanker rushing toward them with a deafening horn. At this point, the road on one side of the bridge is completely paralyzed. On the other side of the road, a patrol car was reporting the situation to the leadership, but in the next moment. Soon after, several military transport vehicles pass by the accident site and witness the tragedy on the opposite side. But despite the horrific scene, they show no concern, as the squad leader finds the sleeping man in the back seat far more important. Meanwhile, Jung-won's car also arrives at the scene, and just as he is trying to react to the accident, the car in front of him suddenly behaves abnormally. A series of new tragedies occur in rapid succession. Although there are no major casualties this time, the soldiers inside the transport vehicle appear terrified. One of them cautiously climbs onto the back of the truck to check something. Jung-won has already parked his car. Before getting out, he calls his superior, the Minister of Security, suggesting they use this accident for political leverage, as it will surely help them gain more votes. After finishing the call, Jung-won walks to the overturned vehicle to check the situation. He sees two soldiers surrounding a bespectacled man, while the squad leader is trying to contact the transport vehicle ahead. But after repeated attempts, there is no response at all. Sensing something is wrong, Captain Kang rushes over with his men, leaving Jung-won completely baffled. When Captain Kang arrived at the transport vehicle with his men, seeing the cargo door had been opened, he immediately turned around and spoke to his soldiers. As the signal-blocking device activates, Captain Kang looks at the soldier inside, who died in a gruesome way. It seems that something killed him and then escaped. Meanwhile, Jung-won takes the injured Dr. Yang to his car but finds that his daughter Kyung-min is missing, prompting him to call out loudly. At the same time, Jung-won notices many people on the other side of the road have lost their phone signals. Kyung-min, drawn by a loud noise, approaches the edge of the bridge. To her surprise, she sees a strong hunting dog violently smashing its head. Out of pity, Kyung-min cautiously approaches to stop the dog but inadvertently triggers its alertness. When Jung-won arrives, the hunting dog labeled E9 quickly disappears into the dense fog. At this moment, Captain Kang informs Dr. Yang of the situation and demands that he immediately activate a certain program, or the consequences will be disastrous if they lose control. Dr. Yang reluctantly complies, but just then, Jung-won approaches them, demanding to know what is happening, as he has the authority as an administrative officer. But the two soldiers ignore him and even restrain him during the argument. Meanwhile, a man named Joe drives his rescue vehicle onto the bridge. Seeing the catastrophic accident, he is secretly delighted, knowing he can make a lot of money this time. Jung-won tries to ask Dr. Yang what exactly is happening and why the soldiers are so tense. Dr. Yang calmly says not to interrupt him, or everyone could die, and then contacts Captain Kang via radio. By this time, Captain Kang is fully armed. As Dr. Yang presses a button, the hunting dogs scattered across the bridge seem to receive some kind of command. They immediately rush toward their designated target and, in an instant, began fiercely attacking the fully armed Captain Kang. Dr. Yang locates all the hunting dogs on the computer, but he also notices that one of them, the dog with the number E9, remains in place and shows no action. At this moment, Captain Kang had already been forced by the hunting dogs into the rear compartment of the transport vehicle. But as Dr. Yang terminated the program, the previously violent hunting dogs also calmed down. It was clear that they could control these dogs through some kind of program. Meanwhile, a military helicopter suddenly arrived above, and its target seemed to be these hunting dogs. Jong-won grabbed Dr. Yang, who was about to evacuate, and questioned him about which agency they belonged to and what exactly these mad dogs were. But Dr. Yang said,
"Maybe you should ask your superior. I'm sure he knows about Project Silence." What?
Before long, the military personnel completed the transfer of the hunting dogs. Dr. Yang was still trying to command the hunting dog labeled E9 to return, but the dog showed no response at all. With no other choice, he told Captain Kang to locate E9 based on the signal. But when Captain Kang arrived at the location, he saw no sign of the dog at all. All he found on the ground was a control chip that was flashing continuously. It was clear that E9 had likely removed it a long time ago. Meanwhile, the team members who were preparing to transfer the other hunting dogs were suddenly ambushed by them. Everyone watched helplessly as the plane lost control and crashed into the central tower of the bridge. Just as Jong-won was about to question Dr. Yang again, Dr. Yang suddenly realized in horror that the program controlling the hunting dogs had completely crashed and gone haywire. As the slaughter command was activated, the hunting dogs instantly burst out of the truck and charged toward all living beings. Everyone on the bridge became their targets in an instant. Jong-won and Dr. Yang were also suddenly attacked by a hunting dog. Fortunately, with the soldiers' distraction, Jong-won and the others got a chance to escape, so he took his daughter and Dr. Yang, found a car, and prepared to leave. However, as the car turned around, he saw Joe waving for help, but Jong-won had no intention of stopping for him. Just as the car was about to speed away, Kyung-min suddenly scolded her father for leaving someone to die and even pulled the handbrake. With the car coming to an abrupt stop, Joe, seeing this, desperately ran toward them for his life. On the other side, the people attacked by the hunting dogs fled to a bus, their screams echoing non-stop. And Jong-won's car hadn't gone far when part of the previously hanging transport plane suddenly broke off and blocked the way with its burning wreckage. Soon, all the hunting dogs surrounded the car Jong-won and the others were in. Under Jong-won's interrogation, Dr. Yang finally told the whole truth. It turned out that all of this was related to a secret experiment with the military, called Project Silence. Project Silence was a program where the Korean government, in order to combat terrorists, secretly used military dogs as test subjects, injecting them with chemicals over a long period to create super attack dogs that could lock onto targets and kill them through sound control. But what they didn't expect was that the dogs' intelligence and bodies underwent dramatic changes. Due to uncontrollable mutations, these dogs developed extremely high intelligence and perfect coordinated attack abilities, and could only be controlled by the chips in their brains. And among them, the dog labeled E9 was the prototype of this group of experimental dogs, while most of the others were clones of it. If it went out of control, it would be a disaster for humanity. Dr. Yang had just finished explaining when the smoke from the fire ahead started seeping into the car. For safety, Jong-won arranged for everyone to transfer to a nearby bus. Fortunately, the hunting dogs had left to avoid the fire, so they hurried to the bus on the other side. Unexpectedly, at this moment, the other half of the crashed transport plane was also about to fall. The entire bridge was shrouded in thick fog with extremely low visibility, making it impossible for the government to arrange rescue for now. To calm the crowd, Jong-won, also trapped there, told everyone that due to the fog, the rescue operations were temporarily delayed, but he had already contacted the higher-ups and the rescue team would arrive soon. To prevent panic, Jong-won also lied, saying that the creatures outside were just military dogs infected with rabies, and that as long as they stayed on the bus, they would basically be safe. Dr. Yang said nothing more, but he knew that if the rescue team didn't come soon, those mutated dogs might find a way to attack them. After all, their intelligence might have already surpassed humans. Fortunately, under the command of the Minister of Security, an elite squad quietly infiltrated the bridge. They carefully completed the rendezvous with Jong-won, but strangely, they didn't see any hunting dogs along the way. Could it be that those dogs had already left the bridge by other means? No matter what, Jong-won decided to organize everyone to evacuate first. as no one could guarantee whether the broken bridge would suddenly collapse into the river. Under the cover of the elite squad, the survivors began to evacuate in an orderly manner. When they came outside, they found the entire bridge eerily quiet. As someone involved in Project Silence, Dr. Yang knew the terror of these mutated dogs. He quietly told Joe that they must find the laptop that could control them, or it would be hard for everyone to escape from here alive. At that moment, an urgent alarm suddenly sounded nearby. 2 elite soldiers, armed, walked toward the location where the vehicle alarm was sounding. But unexpectedly, they walked right into the mutated dog's ambush. In an instant, the 2 soldiers who hadn't even fired a shot were pounced upon and lost their ability to move. Then, all the mutated dogs charged toward the crowd at full speed. In an instant, the scene turned into complete chaos. Taking advantage of the fact that the mutated dogs prioritized attacking the armed elite squad, the survivors hurriedly sought shelter. Dr. Yang and Kyungmin narrowly made it back to the bus, while Jongwon and the others hid inside an overturned truck. Dr. Yang took this chance to tell Kyungmin that they might not be able to escape, because this was not a hunt, it was revenge. It turned out that during the military experiments, E9, as the prototype, had once watched helplessly as its own offspring were killed in the experiments. From that moment on, perhaps the seeds of hatred had already been planted. They would not stop until all humans were dead. Meanwhile, perhaps due to the bridge collapse destroying the signal blocking device, Jongwon managed to reconnect with his superior, Hyunbak, and revealed the secret of Project Silence, hoping he could investigate the organization behind the experiment. But upon learning that many people now knew about the secrets of Project Silence, Hyunbak suddenly fell silent. It turned out that Project Silence was actually a biochemical experiment he had authorized for his election campaign, originally intended to deal with terrorists, but now it had become a weapon of slaughter against civilians. If the public found out, his campaign would surely collapse. To ensure the secret would not be exposed, Hyunbak ruthlessly made a decision. He would delay the rescue and let the collapsing bridge bury all the truth. However, on the surface, Hyunbak still lied to Jongwon, saying the rescue was on the way and that they should prepare to receive it. At this moment, Jongwon had already led the others back to the bus, but because they were too close to the collapsing part of the bridge, the rescue might not come in time, and they could fall into the sea along with the bus. With the mutated dogs lurking outside, Jongwon was at a loss. Angry, he even wanted to throw Dr. Yang out, thinking if not for their experiment, they wouldn't be trapped here. At that moment, Kyungmin suddenly proposed a plan. They could set a trap and swap positions with the mutated dogs. So everyone set up a simple trap inside the bus and quietly hid in the luggage compartment, then opened the door to attract the mutated dogs. Even though these hunting dogs were very intelligent, the human scent inside the bus still lured them in without suspicion. As E9 also walked into the bus, Jongwon saw this scene through the monitor. Joe hurriedly pulled the switch, trapping all the hunting dogs inside the bus. Everyone finally got a chance to breathe and came outside. However, they waited and waited, and after a long time, the rescue team still didn't appear, and many people began to despair. It was only then, through his conversation with Dr. Yang, that Jongwon learned that the mastermind behind Project Silence was the very person he had always trusted and supported, Hyunbak. He finally realized why the rescue wasn't coming. It was clear that everyone who knew the secret would be eliminated, as this was their usual approach. But Jongwon never expected that one day it would be his turn. After several more attempts to contact Hyunbak failed, Jongwon understood that they had been completely abandoned, and dragging it out like this didn't seem like a solution either, as the strength of the bus's glass was unlikely to stop those mutated hunting dogs. Once the dogs broke through, everyone would fall into danger again. Fortunately, Dr. Yang found the lost laptop. If they could reactivate the program, they might be able to control the hunting dogs again. But after Dr. Yang operated it for a while, the program was too corrupted to stop the attack command. However, after testing, they could redirect the attack target. So after discussion, they decided to use Joe's tow truck to forcibly break through the plane wreckage and escape. This was the only method they could think of, but the tow truck's key had accidentally fallen on the bus. To leave, they first needed to retrieve the key. After some thought, Jongwon asked Dr. Yang to transfer all attack targets to himself, then hide inside the sealed military truck to lure the dogs. If the mutated dogs escaped, the first target they would attack would be him, giving Joe a chance to retrieve the tow truck key. After everything was ready, Dr. Yang activated the program. The hunting dogs, now with a new attack target, burst out of the bus, shattered the glass, and charged toward Jongwon's direction. But just as Joe was about to retrieve the key, something unexpected happened. As the prototype, E9 had already broken free from control, so it was unaffected by the program. Joe could only grab the key and run. But when E9 saw Dr. Yang, it changed its target, as he was the one who had killed many of its offspring during the experiments. At this critical moment, the bridge section where Jongwon was suddenly collapsed. E9, to save its own offspring, gave up attacking the humans. But Jongwon also fell into danger. Looking at the collapsing bridge, everyone was at a loss. But no matter what, Kyungmin wouldn't give up on her father. She ignored the danger, grabbed the tow hook, and rushed over alone. Even though Jongwon kept yelling for his daughter to leave, Kyungmin paid no attention. E9, who was saving its young, also saw this scene but did not attack Kyungmin. At this moment, the bridge suddenly collapsed again. When everything calmed down, Jongwon hung in the air, calling his daughter desperately, but he got no response for a long time. Just when he was about to break down, Kyungmin appeared above. She fixed the tow hook to the truck and called Joe's name. Hearing the call, Joe immediately started the tow truck without hesitation. Fortunately, the truck compartment was pulled up. Unfortunately, the bridge began to collapse completely. Everyone could only place their hopes on the tow truck.
That's the toxic gas! Cover your...
Luckily, they escaped from the broken bridge. When they arrived at the bridgehead, they found a large group of reporters and government officials gathered there. Hyunbaek hurried over, trying to explain something, and attempted to make Jongwon keep the secret of Project Silence, but was punched hard by Jongwon. Just as Jongwon was about to expose Hyunbaek's ugly face, Dr. Yang unexpectedly revealed the secret of Project Silence first. At these words, the reporters went into an uproar, surrounding Dr. Yang to learn the truth. It was clear that Project Silence would now be fully exposed to the public. And as the scene changed, E9 was not dead and had rescued one of its pups, bringing it safely to the shore. And with its high intelligence, it looked toward the Incheon bridge, and no one knew what it was thinking. This story also comes to an end. Thank you for watching. See you next time.